StreamYards is very. Oh, I am live. Okay. StreamYards is very. I like StreamYards for the simplicity of this. It's very easy to do this kind of stuff, but it is not like for what I like to do. It's not wonderful. Like it's like I've got no. I don't know. It's very basic, I guess.
If you're just a talking head and you just want to get stuff out, it's perfectly fine. If you want to do like stuff like gaming and Twitch streaming, I don't know if it's as adequate as that. But for what I use it for, it's absolutely fine.
Oh, it works fine for this kind of stuff, and it's very easy because it's just like here you go, click, 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 and we're in. But yeah, it's interesting. But we are live. We're going to talk about WrestleMania Backlash a little bit. We've only got 6 matches to cover. It's not like we did Mania last time, and that was like what 42 matches or something.
There's 14 matches.
So
42. What a stretch.
I mean, well, we had that from memory. That was a bit of a wild stream, wasn't it? We were all over the place. Yeah, it was good fun. We're not here to give you the best. There's better prediction shows than this. Let's just be completely honest.
We have no clue what we're talking about. As simple as that.
But we have a good time, and it's our time of the month to speak, Mags. We don't really get to speak. That sounds bad, doesn't it? It's like here
our time of the month.
we're looking at it, and it's like here we go again. It's like here we go. But yeah, how's things, Max? How's life?
Doing really well. Podcasting is taking a really good turn, doing some great numbers. Just about to start. Well, no, we've started recording for a new secretive project that will be dropping in the next few weeks. But yeah, all good. I can't complain. Yourself?
Can't complain. Just living my life, you know.
I do have one thing I want to say though, and I think it's really important. Right. Can we normalise extremely British and extremely Australian men being friends?
Oh, Mags. I would call you extremely British. I don't know if I'd call me extremely Australian.
You are incredibly
Everyone
Australian.
keeps saying that, but like I don't think that I have that thick of an accent. Apparently I do, but I don't think I do.
Not as thick as the guy whose video you duetted with. He made absolutely no sense.
Blue. He's a true blue Aussie, that lad. No, that's too much for me. But I guess I'm the modern day Australian man, you know?
Yeah.
Ugh, don't you just hate that? Wasn't that just disgusting to say? That sentence was just
You should be ashamed of yourself for that.
I am constantly, but that's a different topic for a different day. So it's I'm fine. Can't really complain. Life is just happening. I don't mean it that sounds really morbid and horrible and depressing, but life is just happening.
Whether you like it or not, it will keep happening.
It's just happening, and I'm just
stops for nobody.
I'm just living. Hey, Jake, thank you so much for the cheers, all the pride flags. I guess I'm feeling extra gay today. I'm extremely gay, guys. If that makes tell me how that makes any fucking sense. But anyway, I've been on, if you see my Twitter, I've been on I'm having a bit of a time. I'm not angry. I'm also not sad. I'm just, I'm just living, and it's just like a part of me. Mags, here's something you can be just super proud of me for. Hello to everyone in the chat. We got Chris here. We got Steph here. We got Jake here. Everyone on Twitch and on YouTube. This is something you can be proud of me for, Mags, and you can have that one of those proud moments. It's been a year next month since I came out.
Wow. Really?
A whole year.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
I do too. But it also feels like a long fucking time ago. So I don't know.
How do you feel the year's gone?
Well, for the most part, I mean, I can't complain. I'm living the true life. I can't say that it's a bad thing, and I feel more comfortable than ever before, and I also feel less things bother me. Like less petty shit bothers me. I'm just like, whatever. I just kind of, again, I'm just living my life, and I'm just not as afraid to do so many things anymore. And I think I'm on the content side of things. I think I'm doing good stuff just because I'm just a little bit less like so stressed about it. I'm just kind of making stuff that's just making me smile.
I'm more happy with yourself.
Yeah. So, how's it been since you came out, though, as extremely straight? How's that feel?
Yeah, I feel like I'm trapped in a closet. It's just
I know that feeling.
I'm uber straight.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's been hard to adjust.
I could imagine. I couldn't imagine being straight. That's just the worst. But Mags, I wanted to spring a question on you. And the chat. For anyone here that's on YouTube, that's on Twitch, hello everyone. If I miss anyone's comments, I'm very, very sorry. But I wanted to ask a little question. Before we talk about WrestleMania Backlash, I need to know your opinion on a certain wrestling promo that happened a couple of days ago on AEW Dynamite. And I wanted to just spring it on you. Cody Rhodes cut an interesting promo. He's not actually describing it as a promo if you read his Twitter. It was I don't know. It was, I guess in a word for me, it was odd. I'm not trying to be problematic. I'm not trying to be problematic by saying this, but it just sounded odd. It was an odd thing to say in a wrestling ring.
Yeah. It was a jumbled, garbled mess for me.
It didn't make any sense.
No, I think Cody, when he's on form, can cut a really good heartfelt promo. We've seen that with the one with his brother when he had the tears, but this one just felt. It felt like wrestling from the 80s where the evil foreigner had to be the big bad villain. And then he had one of the greatest things about America is our empathy is bigger than our hate. And it just seems to be the wrong time to be as proud of an American as Cody seemed to be. And then he mixed it in with all the I'm going to save racism stuff, which, it got really cringy. Yeah, and then the doubling down on Twitter from him and Brandy, yeah, it just sometimes they are their own worst enemy, and they say you can tell that he doesn't get it's not scripted. You can tell he goes out there and just says whatever comes out of his mouth. And it really didn't work for me. And it actually got a lot of people actually supporting Anthony Ogogo from it.
Yeah, everyone knows this. I don't really watch a lot of Dynamite, but I certainly seen that promo all over my feed, and everyone had an opinion on it, for better, for worse, whatever their opinion was on it.
The absolute most weirdest thing for me about it was he went on this tirade about raising his daughter as a biracial, being having a black wife. Anthony Ogogo is biracial, so it was like. What's the comparison? I don't get what agenda you were trying to push.
It was really just an odd thing to. I didn't understand. It didn't make any sense didn't make any sense to me, and that was the only thing. I'm probably people are gonna be like, but I'm not a Cody guy. I'm really not that into Cody Rhodes as it is. But I credit the dude. I credit anybody that does a good job of something or whatever. But yeah, that wasn't for me, and it's all subjective, I guess, to whatever floats your boat. But yeah, not my cup of tea. Wasn't really feeling. If anything, it made me kind of really irritated by him. I don't know why. It was just an odd thing to say, and I was like, this doesn't. Whatever you're going for here is not hitting. At least, to me, it was just not hitting.
And the only people who it really did hit with is the Uber AEW stands. And I don't think it did anything to bring in any new fans. Nobody's listening to that promo and thinking, "Oh, I might check out AEW now." It's creating a bit more of a division for me.
Yeah, if anything, it's certainly people certainly had a lot to say about it. I've seen it a lot in the last however many days it's been since Dynamite. Well, like I can't count, like 4, 3. I don't know how long has it been since Dynamite. I really don't know. But it's certainly been it's been interesting. But I thought I'd bring it up, just because. But Just
thanks
any
for
more
that.
thoughts on it? I mean, no problem. Anytime, friend. But yeah, we are here to talk about what's up on the top of your screen. That is WrestleMania Backlash. There's 6 matches so far for this show. I guess let's just talk about WrestleMania because we did a WrestleMania prediction show last month or month before. When was WrestleMania? Last month? Yeah, last month. I mean, it feels like ages ago. Honestly, it feels like a while
does.
back.
It really does.
Yeah, and we had so much. I felt so great after WrestleMania, especially night 1. Just like what a wonderful show. Night 2 was good as well. It had its ups and downs more so than night 1. But WrestleMania as a whole was just so great. I'm like, wow, we have something cool here. We have something cool to like float off of, and then it went in a direction that I wasn't particularly fond of. But how do you feel about WrestleMania? I particularly, like I said, liked night 1. I thought Bianca and Sasha was just great. I thought the triple threat on night 2, the main event, was also really damn good. It was certainly a great match of night 2. I liked Bad Bunny. That was something that we were talking about a lot. Like, this could be something really cool. It is really cool. Hello to Hammer in the chat on Twitch. Hello to everyone else that is watching at the moment. Mags, give me your thoughts on WrestleMania.
Yeah, I thought it was for all the kind of blocks in the way of WrestleMania. I thought it was a really good show. With having the weather try and ruin the show at the beginning.
That's funny.
having Hogan as the host, which just didn't hit.
How good was that? There was just no way of him not getting booed on that one.
And you could tell that Tartus was secretly loving the fact that he got booed. Having Bailey not really on the show, but being a huge part of the show.
Yeah, everywhere.
The historical match between Sasha and Bianca Belair. Roman Reigns continuing his amazing run as the head of the table. I thought it was a really good WrestleMania. I think when we look back in years to come, I think this will be one of the better WrestleManias just because of how well WWE pulled it off in the situation that we're in. The only problem is when we have a WrestleMania, we always get the post WrestleMania lull. And I feel like you. I feel that WWE main roster had that huge lull, and we've really kind of it's lost its luster. And if you remember last year around this time, we had the greatest wrestling match ever. And that was all to kind of push the search engine optimization to get wrestling fans back into wrestling straight after that WrestleMania lull. And I feel that this is why Backlash has been called WrestleMania Backlash, because they want to kind of bring those WrestleMania fans back in. So if you search for wrestling, WrestleMania comes up and you think, oh, this is part of WrestleMania, we'll get back in and watching it. So even though there's no rematches at all from WrestleMania on this card, which is interesting.
Yeah, I can see why they're doing it. I agree with you completely. I think if I can take away something that I didn't realize, but it's blatantly obvious, but I for some reason just didn't think about this, is having fans back at WrestleMania made me realize how much better wrestling is with a full crowd than with anything else. And now watching wrestling without it, it's like, this just is ugh. Like WrestleMania rolled in and it was obviously all the rain and stuff. I'm like, this is just completely epitomizing exactly what this is right now. And of course we have to wait for rain. It's we just want that pop. We just want music to play and we just want the crowd to erupt. And eventually we got that. And I was like, yes, the people are getting booed and cheered and we're having a live crowd again. And it was just the best thing ever. And then to go to the Raw the next night and it being just, I'll say this because I don't say this very often. That Raw post WrestleMania Raw was abysmal. It was fucking awful. It was just awful, 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 awful. I stopped watching because of it. I was just I can't deal with this. It's just not, until we get fans back, until we get into the swing of things again, going towards SummerSlam, I just need to take a breather with the amount of wrestling I'm watching, except for NXT. I'm still watching that. But it's just made me realize that. But yeah, the 2 main events really did deliver, over deliver. just both of them were so good. But whole night one, there was nothing bad on night one.
Yeah,
night
it was a great floor. That one flowed so well.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, night two had a little bit of a dip in some areas, but I don't think it was bad, and I think it had its moments. But off of WrestleMania, we're going into WrestleMania Backlash. We have 6 matches that we're talking about today. Let's get things started. Let's talk about the tag team championship match, the SmackDown tag team championships. It'll be the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, defending against Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. The Mysterios have a chance to be the first father-son tag team champions in WWE history. Let's talk about Dominic, shall we? He come in would have been nearly a year ago. Stuff with Seth Rollins and all of that, and he had that great match at SummerSlam with Rollins, and then they dipped out for a little while. Aaliyah came in and Murphy, and then they've just been kind of this tag team that's just been kind of coasting along, and now they're going for the tag team titles against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Dominic, though, has the freshness of him worn off a little? Is it not like, oh my God, he's so great, he has so much potential? It's now just kind of like, oh, you're just one of the group. You know what I mean? You're just another person that's on the roster. I don't know how I feel about Dominic. I go back and forth on whether I think he's great or whether I think he's just boring.
Okay, I mean that's fair, but I think the fact that you're counting him as part of the roster shows just how much he's improved. Because, like I said, when he came in with very little wrestling experience, it was literally in as a Mysterio, basically riding the coattails of his dad's name. And I think he's really worked hard to get into shape. Because if you remember the first time we started seeing Dominic as the adult, he was a lot bigger, a lot heavier than he is now. So I think he's worked really well on that. He's definitely got some wrestling chops. He certainly knows how to take a bump. Is he the best wrestler in the world? Absolutely not. But I think for someone who is literally learning on the job, comparing to someone else who's like that with Nia Jax, I think he's definitely got a lot of potential.
Whoa, okay. Just coming out with Nia Jax hate. Before I get to my side of things, we've got Queenie in the chat, the one and only Miss the Queen of Queenie. This is my boys' prediction time. We've also got Rachel over on YouTube. Oh, sorry, Mags, I cut you off. I don't care. We got
Rude. I'm here heaping praise on Mama Queen, and you're just like, fuck that bitch, cut him off.
Yeah, absolutely. Steph says, I think he'd be better getting away from his father and trying to develop more on his own. Maybe. I don't, like I said, I go back and forth on the dude. I do like him with Ray, and I do think there's cool potential there to be like father-son tag team champions. I think we're probably, it's tradition around here that we usually agree on the first one. I think it's Ray and Dominic, right? It's their kind of time to win the tag team titles here.
For me, this seems like the biggest lock on the card. And the card itself, I think, is relatively predictable in terms of what's going to happen afterwards. But for me, this is the biggest lock. I think the Dirty Dogs I feel for them because they've been champions at a time when no one's really cared about the tag team titles. But I think with the Ray and Dominic being champion, that might kind of like boost the profile of that title a little bit more, that feel-good factor. And I'm even going to go as far to say I think Dominic will get the pin and he'll make his daddy proud. That's Volta, daddy. Obviously. His daddy Volta, because I don't think he's Ray's son. I think he's Volta's son.
He's Eddie's son. We already know this.
That is also true. I'm your papi.
Where the fuck is Vicky? That was my favorite thing he did in that ladder match. I'll never forget that for as long as I live.
He was fuming. He was
pissed. I've watched that back, and he was fucking pissed. He was just like, I've had enough. He's like, where the fuck is Vicky? They fucked their spot. It was just, oh man, Eddie was the man. I loved Eddie. So yes, I think we're both in it. I don't think it'll probably be a fun match. It'll probably be like the first match on the card, and it will be a lot
Makes sense, yeah. Makes sense.
fast pace. Ray will come in, do his spots. Dominic will kind of get beat up for the whole time, and then blah 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 blah. Ray and Dominic win. I would have no problem seeing them hold the titles for a little while. I think it could be a little fun little time to see them hold the titles until someone else takes them off of them down the road.
Perhaps the Street Profits or the Alpha Academy.
The Usos.
I mean, well, I think they're deeply entrenched in a storyline of their own right now.
I think that's the point. The point. Bring in more gold. Huh? Bring in more gold?
Well, we'll talk about that in a little while then.
Aaron's here. What's up, Aaron? What's up, legends? Let's go. Ooh. Oh, no, I'm starting to get energy. This isn't good. I prefer when I'm just calm, just a little calm. We got to be calm on this show. But yeah, it'll be fine. Can we, we're going to just kind of sprinkle in some other things here. Cause like I said, there is only 6 matches on this card. You brought up Nia Jax before.
I did.
Nia and Shayna, they are no longer tag team champions. They lost the tag team champions.
The Lord.
To Tamina and Natalya this past week on SmackDown on Fox, the A show of WWE, I guess you would call it. I guess you would call it that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it does higher ratings.
I'm not even being an idiot here. I think it would be the A show. I think they care about SmackDown more purely because it's on Fox, which they should probably. But yes, they did lose to Natty and Tamina. Natty and Tamina kind of had this moment at WrestleMania. We talked about Tamina and we talked about WrestleMania a little earlier, but they did kind of have this weird moment where Tamina's name was getting chanted, which is not something I ever thought that would happen. And no disrespect to Tamina and Natty, but like they're just there. You know what I mean? They're just like the people that just kind of keep the train moving within the division. But happy for them, I would say so. It was pretty like a cool moment. I've seen all the stuff on social media. I got to say hello to everybody because they're starting to get a lot of comments. Sinide is here. What's up, Sinide? We got some hashtag Tamina train.
Yes.
Both ratings and quality. But yeah, I'm happy for them in a sense of like Tamina's been there for a very long time, and it's cool to see her get a title. I want Shayna and Nia to kind of split off. I think it'll be better for both of them. What you think of Nia Jax is whatever, but I think it will be better and more beneficial for both of those women to not be together anymore. Not that I've hated them as a team; they've been fine. But I don't think Natty and Tamina will hold it all that long, to be completely honest with you. They'll probably drop it to some other team that comes up in the next few months. But I think they're kind of transitional, and I hate to say that because they're both, fine.
Yeah,
they're both fine. I mean,
I felt like that this title win was kind of a thank you to both of them. Obviously, Natty has been someone who's held the women's division together for such a long, long time, transitioned through the whole kind of like post-attitude era, all the way through like the Divas era, and now into the reality era that we're in. And Tamina's been there 11 years and never, ever won a title, which is absolutely outstanding. If you think of all the women who've held titles in that division and kind of not had the wrestling talent of Tamina, it's weird to say that she hasn't had a title. So you could see how much it meant to her after the match. And I agree with you. I think it's going to be a shortish reign. It's a thank you, and it's a way to split Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax up. And again, I'm the same as you. I enjoyed what they did. I thought the kind of like odd couple team really works well, and they both played off it pretty well. But I want to get back to Shayna, the killer, the woman who absolutely dominated in NXT, and I want to get back to the Nia Jax who blew out both her knees, so she could spend a lot of time off the TV.
Mags. Oh, Mags. And when is it going to be time for the damn Riot Squad to win tag team titles? All right? I just want the Riot Squad to win the tag team titles, whether they're faces, whether they're heels. I don't care. But I think they should be on the radar at least to win these damn titles because they're a team. They're a very good team, and they make each other better. And it's not a silly statement, I don't think. I think everyone can agree that I'd like to see the Riot Squad get some titles around their waist because they're both very talented women.
And especially when you consider they're probably the only legitimate actual tag team that the women's division have got. There's no other tag team that have a name like those. I mean, they did have the Iconics, and I still am so disappointed that those two girls got released. It was a massive, massive shock. But yeah, I'd like to see the Riot Squad finally pick up their titles.
Me too, friend. Me too. This is going to be one that I probably have a lot of opinion on for some fucking reason that it's happening. Damian Priest and The Miz are having a match. It's a lumberjack match. Why are they still working with each other?
Because it's WrestleMania Backlash. This is the Backlash from WrestleMania, and we need to have some Backlash. Backlash.
Yeah, cool. Awesome.
No, I think it's to show that Damian Priest can be a star on his own after obviously being with Bad Bunny, he was the star of that match by a long, long way. He did so well. And this is the rumors I've heard is that Damian is on the verge of a massive push, and it's just this is kind of like closing out the feud between him and The Miz and Morrison before he moves on to bigger and better things. But I've also heard other rumors saying that it's make or break for him, and that Vince wasn't particularly happy with his the way he came out after WrestleMania, that he thought that he should have been stealing the show rather than Bad Bunny. So there's certainly two camps of thought in this match, but for me, this is a feud ender. Hopefully, both will go on to something different after this.
Yeah, I hear noises. What is that? I hope no one's breaking into my house.
You may have been swatted.
Oh, who knows? A live robbery. Would that get me views? That's edgy. Is edgy content. A live robbery on Twitch. Just people start like fucking donating, and they're like, "Oh my god, he's getting robbed! Oh, help him!" My views just go like ding, 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 ding. Anyway, yeah, I'd go viral. I'd love to go viral. That'd be so fun. I'm petty like that. I don't even care.
I don't know if a viral for being robbed live on stream would be something that you'd want, though.
Anything for the views. Eh? Anything for the views.
The clout. It's all about that clout.
Clout chasing Josh Robinson. How about that? It's like Austin breaking into Pillman's house all over again.
He's got a gun.
Cut the feed. It's no, I don't know. I think it was just Giddy. She's probably just fucking shit up in our bedroom or something, knocking something over. But yeah, this is happening. Damian Priest will win, and that would what you would assume this would have to be the end of this. They've been feuding since January.
Yeah, I think Damian Priest has beat John Morrison, like, is it twice in a row or something like that?
He's beat Miz a bunch, hasn't he? Didn't he beat Miz like a few weeks ago on Raw, and Miz had like no pants on? I mean, wrestlers don't have pants on, to be fair, but like Miz took off his pants or something, and then he beat Damian Priest. Maurice came back. I swear that happened too, but now she's gone again. Yeah, I don't fucking know what's going on.
This storyline needs to end, and hopefully it's
also a lumberjack match. I don't know if I said that. Did I say that? Okay, it's a lumberjack match. If that makes any difference anyway, it's just a bunch of people around the ring. Maybe it'll be Maurice.
Just people making sure the fight stays relatively in the ring. And then we get a finish, and hopefully, I think Priest wins it. Miz is pretty much bulletproof.
Yep.
He could lose a million times in a row and still be one of the big stars in WWE. So, yeah, I'd be happy with a Priest win.
Yep, I'm fine. I'm not a big Priest guy, but it's fine. Is what it is. Let's talk about Zelina Vega. There's been a rumor that she was spotted at the WWE Performance Center filming some content, and apparently she's on her way back to WWE. I sound like a news anchor. I don't know why I did it like that. I sound like one of those wrestling news. Hi, welcome back to What Culture Wrestling.
It's Ron Burgundy.
Here comes Josh Robinson. Zelina Vega's apparently on her way back to WWE after being released back in November, which all kind of started a lot of stuff. And then it didn't go anywhere, as most wrestling things do. starts a lot of talk and no action, because that's wrestling in a nutshell. I don't have a problem with her coming back. I think Zelina's a very talented young lady. It does seem a little odd, but hey, a job's a job, and I'm happy for her to be getting paid. Who knows what this is going to be? Whether it will be, flying back into the swing of things on main roster, whether it's NXT, whether she's just simply at the Performance Center, we really don't know until we see it on our screens. But what's your thoughts on the situation?
Yeah, it was a weird one. If you go back to when she was released, she was one of the people really kind of pushing for WWE to allow for these third-party affiliate deals. She was and AJ and Paige were really kind of like trying to stand up to this ridiculous edict that WWE had about wrestlers not being able to make money on the side with things like Twitch. And then she did the infamous tweet where she said, "I support unionization," which led to her essentially getting cut. And lest we forget, she started an OnlyFans, I think, to combat the fact that she wasn't allowed to make money on Twitch anymore, which riled a lot of people up behind the scenes in WWE. And at the time, I thought, do you know what? Good on her, standing up for her morals, really kind of like sticking it to Vince and saying, look, we're not willing to take this. The issue was that she was quickly on a branch on her own, and not a lot of people backed her up. And then once the kind of like the interest died down, once the subscribers to her Twitch and to her OnlyFans started dying down, she has to make a living at the end of the day, and no wrestling company seemed to want to touch her. Whether they thought it was because she was toxic, I have no idea. But if when WWE came calling and said we'd like you back on the roster, then yeah, I don't blame her. It's just a shame that that she had to be released in the first place for me.
Yeah, so she hasn't streamed on Twitch in 2 months, if that makes any difference to anything. Again, it's all rumor. We don't know for sure. We're not her. We're not WWE. We don't know until it happens. But yeah, I have no problem with Zelina. But like, it was just a lot to go through just to kind of get us back to the place we started.
Yeah, and it's weird that the person who she was linked with in WWE, and Andrade, he's now gone. So
Aaron was just now put the comment back up, but
yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of role she has in WWE. I mean, I've seen her wrestle, and she's a really, really good wrestler. So maybe she comes back in that capacity, or if she's
well, she was. Remember, before she left, she was going against Asuka, and she was, starting to get a little bit of a semi push in the sense of like wrestling more. And she's a good addition. She's a little different to everybody else. She's a great speaker. She's one of the best speakers in the if she's in the company, I don't really know, but she's one of the best. She carried a lot of promos throughout the pandemic era. So I like Zelina Vega, but we'll move along. Let's talk about the Raw Women's Championship. Woo! Triple threat match for the Raw Women's title. We got Rhea Ripley defending against Asuka and Charlotte Flair. This is the match that I think should have happened at WrestleMania, to be completely honest with you. I think it would have made for a better match. Okay, I'm going to say something that I don't mean any disrespect to Asuka or Rhea. They're both great, very talented individuals. They do not click in a ring. They have no chemistry. And sometimes that happens between two great, as talented people as those two. I watched their match last week on Raw. It was the best of the three, but it still wasn't great. They have great matches with a lot of people. Asuka has top tier matches with pretty much anyone. Rhea has top tier matches with pretty much anyone. For some reason, these two their wires just get all tangled, and it doesn't work. So I'm glad this isn't a rematch from WrestleMania. I'm glad Charlotte Flair's in there. I think the flow will be nice with Charlotte Flair. I love the Charlotte Flair character because she's just basically what everyone screams at her on Twitter, and every one of her tweets replies. She's everything that you hate, and that's perfect for Charlotte. It's the perfect Charlotte character when she can just be a heel. She can be 100% a true heel, and she can just play off of everything that people say about it. It's perfect. I love it. I'll say my prediction right now. Charlotte Flair will be Raw Women's Champion walking out of this, and I cannot wait because I don't like to say this, but I think Rhea got put in a position where they panicked and they had nothing else to do. So they're like, here you go, Rhea, have the championship. And it just hasn't worked great. And I think if you savor it now and take it away, it feels better a little later instead of just trying to prolong something that isn't working, in my opinion. But Charlotte Flair is my pick. I'll let you take it from there.
Okay, so you think that Charlotte goes 2-0 over Rhea Ripley?
Absolutely.
In matches. Okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, before I even get into my pick, I want to give props to Rhea Ripley. She recently came out and said that she was struggling with confidence and that she was taking acting lessons to improve her character. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant for her, and for her to
whatever makes you better. Yeah, whatever makes you better. I don't think Rhea's bad, by the way, people. I just think that she got given a champ. I don't like when people come in and win championships straight away. I just don't love that. So it's not a her thing, it's more of a me thing or something I just genuinely don't like. I like people earning it a little more than just coming in and being like, eh. And especially in the match that Rhea and Asuka had at WrestleMania. It wasn't great. I'll just plain and simply say that.
Yeah, but I'll always give props to people who can see their own kind of like deficits and want to work on them. And for her in the position that she's in to come out and say she was feeling depressed about her situation and that she wanted to make change, it gives a lot of younger fans the power to change their perception of themselves. So I really give her a lot of respect for that. I don't like the fact that Asuka's in this match and it's quite clear she's the person taking the loss. That's one thing that really, really bugs me about how the WWE use Asuka. She had the title she was essentially given the title after the Money in the Bank. She had a very lackluster run with the belt. She was in a lot of the feud. She was almost playing second fiddle to the likes of Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton. And it just annoys me because she, again, like Shayna Baszler, she was a killer in NXT and she was the star of the show most of the time. And for her to be like playing second fiddle, I don't like. That being said, I agree with you. I think Charlotte being in this match absolutely makes sense. She's the best heel in the women's division. She's so good at drawing proper wrestling heat where people legitimately dislike you. And she's also one of the best wrestlers in the women's division. So the fact that she's carried the women's division on her back for so long, I have absolutely no problems with her being in the title picture. In fact, I want her to be the person that beats Ric Flair's record, just to rub it in the Smarks faces that little bit more. For me, I don't think she walks out of this match as champion. I think it's just a little bit too early to take that belt off Rhea. I think that maybe Charlotte carries the load in the match, but then we get coming to the finish, Rhea perhaps throws her out the ring and she takes the glory of the hard work that Charlotte has done to beat down Asuka, and then we go to Rhea versus Charlotte one-on-one.
I don't agree, but that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. I don't agree. I just think this is a triple threat match, so Rhea doesn't have to take a fall, and she loses without losing, and you have more steam to get into wherever the fuck we're going. Apparently, fans are coming back soon on a regular basis. I don't know how true that is. We really don't know what's going to happen. Steph actually brings up a good point that I would like to throw to you as well, Mags. I wonder if Bliss will get involved at all since the doll thing has her eye on someone. I feel like that's leading to something. Bliss has been involved in the last few weeks saying that Lily is her doll, by the way, if anyone doesn't know. We both have our eye on someone, and it's someone apparently in red, and there's only a few people that have been wearing red. It's Charlotte and it's Sonya Deville. I don't really know outside of that. There's been a lot of stuff with Lily in the background of a lot of Sonya Deville's pre-tapes and stuff like that. It will be interesting to see if Bliss does play a role in this. I like Bliss. I like the whole concept of of Lily. It does add a different element. I don't know if she gets involved in the match here, but I would assume she would get involved in the storyline in some sense over the coming weeks, or who knows? Because of that character, it's like this. It's like, yes, she could just be in the kind of one-dimensional thing, but it can just kind of flip and flop anywhere and it makes sense. Is that like lazy of me to say? But I think it can.
No, you're right. It's very much playing off the whole Fiend character, where it doesn't have to be there every single week, but when it comes back, you know that it's there for a reason. And Alexa Bliss has really proved with this character that she has got some of the best character work in the women's division. So well played, and the fact that she can stay fresh and relevant without even really wrestling that much is absolutely unreal.
She's wrestled a handful of times in the last 6 months. Like you probably counted on one hand the amount of times she's actually wrestled. Aaron does pose a good question: is Rhea Ripley a heel? My ideal world of Rhea Ripley was she's that tweener that can kind of float in and out. She just kicks people's ass. That's what I like, Rhea. But WWE don't do a very good job of that, at least on the main roster. They don't do a very good job of not being able. They can't do areas of Grey very well outside of like the supernatural stuff with like Bliss and Bray. They do a good job of that, but they don't really do that really good job of like, oh, can they be they have to be a face or they have to be a heel? Why can't they just float in between? I like when characters do that.
Which is weird when you think that their biggest character ever, Stone Cold Steve Austin, was exactly that. He was the ultimate
anti-babyface tweener thing. Like he was
and that's how I kind of see Rhea's character. I think work on NXT when she was the evil kind of like mega boss of the division. She worked her best stuff. I think she works really well as a natural heel. I think she struggles as a face. I know when she did the face turn on NXT, a lot of people kind of dropped off and really just weren't vibing with Rhea as much. So I think she works better in the tweener role. But yeah, I think Charlotte is the best natural heel though.
That's a good segue. Natural heels. Someone's coming back, Mags. Eva Marie. The evolution is upon us. Eva Marie has vignettes that's happening, that she's coming back. The evolution will be televised, friends. It's happening. Now, I'm sure we'll disagree, Mags. And you've seen it all over my Twitter. I've even released videos on Love Wrestling about Eva Marie and my stance on Eva Marie. Now I want to say something. Eva Marie was never known for her wrestling ability, and I'm not out here saying that she's the greatest wrestler of all time. That just ain't true. I'm not going to spew something that's just an utter lie. Hear me out. The reason I like Eva Marie is because for the amazing things that the women's division has done, in ring, just exceptional. They can main event WrestleMania. I think the women's division lacks a lot of actual character outside of, I'm a great wrestler. Look at me wrestle. I love wrestling. That's great. I love wrestling too. There's not a lot of people, not everyone's designed to put on a 5-star wrestling match. Many people, you got many different people that can do that. There's not a lot of people that can draw a natural heat like Eva Marie. You hate her because she isn't wrestling. We hate that. It's disgusting. We don't want to see that. That's why she'll probably be women's champion within the next 6 months. I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly, and I'm for it because there's not enough people within. There's not enough people within wrestling. How can we hate someone when we see everything now? We know everyone's story. Look at the journey they've been on. Look at this, and that's great. It's feel good, but it makes it hard to hate heels. They're all cool. Eva Marie is not cool. She's prettier than us. She's richer than us. She's more famous than us. She went away from wrestling and made more money than any of us. She's better than all of us in a wrestling sense.
She knows it.
And she knows it. And guess what? She can play on that and become... I just think there's not a lot of that kind of character, especially within WWE's world of women's division, or even just on a general scale. There's not a lot of characters like that. That's why I see that's my appeal in Eva Marie. She's different. We crave someone different all the time. And it's just people, it's so easy to hate her. Because it's just easy because it's like, you don't like wrestling. You hate wrestling. And sometimes the biggest hate for us as wrestling fans is people that hate wrestling. And she hates wrestling.
I mean, and bringing it back, obviously, it happened, in October of last year. So we got a lot of comparisons of why did they release the Iconics, why did they release Mickie James, and then they give this woman a job back, which is it's a straw man argument because she was actually already back with the company way before the releases happened. But the interesting thing is, she has 4.1 million followers on Instagram. That's more than the Iconics and Mickie combined. So she brings in an audience, and whether you like her or not, she brings in character work, and that's what. No disrespect to Mickie James, but in the last few months and even like the last couple of years, there's not been a lot of character work from Mickie because she just hasn't been around. With the Iconics, it's a different thing. They just exude character.
Don't get me started on that situation because that's
it was ridiculous that they got released. Billie Kay could have been
Billie Kay was on WrestleMania. She was hilarious. How can you not like comedy? Kevin Dunn, listen, Kevin Dunn with those teeth. Does that fucking funny to you? I'll laugh at that, Kevin Dunn. He's just an idiot. Are you tough enough? Fuck off. How about that? He just really pisses me off. But anyway, I love wrestling. I love wrestling.
But
Billie was great.
She was, yeah, absolutely, she was. But getting back to Eva Marie, this is clearly someone who can bring in an audience that perhaps isn't watching wrestling right at the moment. And the fact that they've even aligned her with the next big thing, Parker Boudreaux. That's going to be an interesting.
Why does he dress like a 12-year-old boy? I don't get it.
Tell him to his face that he can't. He looks like Brock Lesnar's love child.
He will beat me up, but that's not the point. But good for him.
He also follows me on Twitter, so
he follows everybody on Twitter. That's not really.
Well, I was trying to flex then. At least let me flex a little bit.
Queenie's still here. She said Eva has a huge following. That's Fax Mags. I don't know why, but for some reason, I get this sense that Queenie wouldn't be the biggest fan of Eva Marie. I don't know why. But I've talked Queenie a lot. I don't think she'd be her biggest fan, but that's fine. You don't have it's happening whether people want to love her or hate her or whatever. She's going to be a name that's going to be on Monday Night Raw for the foreseeable future. Who knows? Maybe she'll get involved in WrestleMania Backlash. Maybe the person in red is Eva Marie. Maybe Lily likes Eva Marie.
All red everything. She is all red.
I mean, she has
everything.
pink hair now, but I mean, whatever. I'm sure it will be very interesting. I'm sure it'll be very civil on Twitter when she shows up.
It probably won't, but people will tune in to hate her, and they're still viewers, so it works.
Who knows? It's gonna be interesting. Let's talk about another triple threat match. Bobby Lashley will be defending the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. Oof. You know my opinion on Braun Strowman. You know that
you love him. That he's the best thing.
I don't know. I don't care about this. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I am. It's just not something that draws my attention. A triple threat match between three big lads, I don't know. I just don't really. It's not my cup of tea. Each their own, and if you want to love it, that's perfectly fine. I hope you enjoy it, but I don't know. It's just like Bobby Lashley should win this, and it shouldn't go any other way. But I'm very scared that it might go to Braun Strowman. I'm honestly kind of scared about it.
Mm-hmm. And they're the two lines that I think I'm going to go down. I think we either see Bobby retain because obviously he's not had the title that long. It will. He's obviously another kind of like historic title win with what happened at WrestleMania. But Braun would mix up that scene. I mean, if Bobby wins, where do we go? Does he face Drew yet again? Does he face Braun yet again? I think with Braun winning, at least it kind of mixes it up, and we can see kind of like different pathways. And Braun needs legitimizing again. I mean, after his loss to after beating Goldberg and then all that shenanigans with him being the Universal Champion. He needs to be pushed as the big beast that he is. I mean, I can't stand this choo-choo train Braun Strowman. It's ridiculous. But I want Bobby to retain. I really, really do want Bobby to retain.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? If I don't want to make a prediction, but I'm gonna say Braun Strowman. As much as that fucking kills me.
Well, just to be different, then I'm going to say Bobby retains, and
I've never wanted you to be right so bad in my life.
Damian Priest is the next challenger.
Oh, here's an interesting little thing from Aaron: Bobby versus Daniel Bryan if he shows up on Raw.
Oh, I mean that's interesting, but I really want Daniel Bryan to go down to NXT.
I really want Bryan just to have a little bit of a rest for a little while.
Yeah, obviously.
Really honest.
Yeah.
Go spend time with your children. I think he wants that, to be honest. I think he wants to just go and spend some time with his kids and with Brie and all of that kind of oh man, that's already triggering me for Saturday. Oh boy. Yeah. But I think Braun, you think Bobby. The match will be fine. I don't think it'll be bad. I don't know. I just don't really have a lot of care for it. I'm trying to remain as positive as possible, but I just don't. I don't have any care in it. I really don't.
I think the issue is we've seen Bobby versus Drew so many times over the last few months, and then adding a wrestler that not a lot of people care about anymore in Braun Strowman to the mix. It doesn't add anything. So it just feels like we've seen Bobby versus Drew again. But we'll. I think it'll be a fun match. It'll be a their match. It'll fill time, and someone will win.
Great way to put it. Correct. Yeah. Well, good segue there, Aaron. Brie mode. Yes, for anyone that isn't aware, if you type in !charity stream in my, if you're here on Twitch, !charity stream, you can see all the details for this weekend or Friday night for a lot of you guys in the States. Saturday morning for you guys in Australia, like me. I will be doing a 10-hour charity stream raising money for Beyond Blue. If you don't know what Beyond Blue are, they help with mental health resources and assisting people that are going through their own stuff. They help with all that kind of stuff. A great cause. But for the 10 hours, I will be listening to Brie Bella's theme song on repeat, on loop for the entire 10 hours. Because I thought I'd throw out a nice little tweet. I was literally at work, just like I'm going to be an idiot today. This tweet gets to 100 retweets. I'll do a 10-hour charity stream and I'll listen to Brie Bella's theme on loop. Little did I know within about 5 hours that happened. I was like, wow, I shot way too low. And I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. I will do this. You will watch me lose my fucking brain, but it's going to be okay. We're going to play some games. We're going to hang out, have vibes, all of the good stuff. Why that song plays in the background for the entire stream. It will not stop for the entire stream. Wow. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to be just noise after a little while or if it's actually going to drive me insane. I don't know, but like we're going to raise some money for a good cause. So I'm here to help.
I mean, the best hope you can have is that that video gets pulled for copyright claim and WWE say you're not allowed to use that music.
Unfortunately, WWE don't pull videos for music in there for their themes. So, but I will be live on Twitch. I'll be playing some wrestling games. I'm going to play some Fall Guys. I'm going to play some GTA. I got a lot of time to fill in 10 hours, all right? So, it's going to be an interesting experience. So for anyone that wants to, all I ask from anyone is at some point, make sure that I'm doing okay. You're going to need to pop in the chat and make sure that I haven't put my head through a wall because it may happen. And I'm a Bella Mark.
And whilst you're there checking on Josh and make sure he's still sane, donate. Give as much as you can because it's a very worthwhile charity.
It is Mental Health Awareness Month. Beyond Blue does help a lot in Australia, and I'm pretty sure Beyond Blue does work outside of Australia, but this is, of course, I'm staying true blue to Aussies, but it's worldwide, can donate and all that kind of stuff. And you can just donate to the PayPal that I have set up anyway, and I'll donate post-stream anyway. So if you want to, of course you can. I'm not going to force anyone to donate, but just make sure that I am okay at some point in that stream, because I don't know if I will be. But something I do know will be very okay is the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Bianca Belair will be having her first defense as SmackDown Women's Champion against Bayley. And I feel very bad for Bayley, because this is just Belair's first defense. It's going to just, be that. It'll be a great little match. But it is what it is. And that's fine. But I feel a little bad for Bayley, because I think Bayley's done some fantastic work. The fact that she wasn't on WrestleMania, in a sense, in a match, is a little bit of a shame. She did have a lot of moments, though. She had moments with the NWO and with the Bellas and with the commentary team. She was a great little pop-in. But I think she rightfully earned a match at WrestleMania, and we didn't get it. But, it is what it is. It's just the first defense. I think I can probably speak for you to say that Belair's definitely going to win. But, it'll be a fun match. They're two very talented people. Coming off of WrestleMania is a big deal for Belair, so it was probably just the way to go. There's not a lot of options for Belair outside of Bayley and Banks.
And not a lot of options that would legitimize her as champion. When you're a new champion and never won the title before, you need big victories to solidify you as instead of being a flash in the pan, that you deserve to be there. And I think a win over Bayley would help really kind of push Bianca over that kind of threshold. I think she's absolutely amazing. Her and Sasha stole the show at WrestleMania. And it was so cool to see Sasha just happy for Bianca. And I'm sure Bayley will be, even though she's playing the Karen character to an absolute T, and I love it. I was not on board with it at first, but I absolutely love it now. And I'm sure Bayley will love to be a part of this rise of Bianca, kind of like a rising tide raises all ships, and seeing like the next generation come through, and 2 wins over 2 horsewomen is a big statement for Bianca Belair. I do think she gets the win. She's the new champion, and I don't think this will be the end of the Bianca versus Bayley feud. I think we'll see.
Oh, you don't? You think there'll be more? You know what's weirdly enough, I think we're going to probably go into a program for a little while before SummerSlam with Mella.
Perhaps.
And I think it'll be Mella and Bianca for a little while, because we haven't really seen it, to be fair. We haven't seen them work that often. If they have, it's been a match here or there. But I just think it would be like a filler feud, because I think Banks and Belair is probably going to happen again at SummerSlam.
Okay. Yeah, interesting.
That's just what I think. And it could easily be Bayley for longer. But I just think Mella's really the only other option when you think about it.
I mean, like I said, there's not a lot of huge options on there. And now that you've got Natty and Tamina as tag team champions, that takes another couple of women out of there. Maybe we see Shayna coming over to the blue brand and pushing for Bianca. I mean, they had some great matches in NXT.
Yeah, and I think Aaron said maybe Bayley should switch to Raw, maybe switch with Charlotte, and maybe Charlotte and Belair, SummerSlam, Rhea Bayley, something a little different. It seems like a lot of people, I don't know, I don't think a draft will be happening until October again, but it seems like a lot of people are they really want a draft. They really want a shake-up of sorts.
There was a couple of news reports come out recently that Vince was saying that Raw especially is getting kind of boring, stale. So perhaps a bit of a shift in talent, some new faces on both brands could get more interest in wrestling, and it would certainly open up some feuds for Bianca if we saw the likes of Charlotte come over to Raw. I mean, we could go back to that "you don't go here" promo, which I still think is one of the best promos ever.
It was very good, but yeah, I think a lot of it. It's a lot of we need something fresh in a lot of accounts everywhere. I just think that it needs a bit of a freshen up, but I don't know. Who knows what will happen. There's not really much else to talk about other than the main event. I can't really think of anything that I really want to. Oh, actually, I do want to touch on one thing. NXT related. Have you noticed, Mags? I know you're not watching everything on a weekly basis, but you watch clips and you keep up to date. Have you noticed how much better NXT has been since switching up the nights?
I think the show's flowed better. I like the pushing of Cameron Grimes and Kyle O'Reilly as big stars. Bobby Fish.
Don't get me started on Kyle O'Reilly. I love. I can't stand it. I cannot stand his character. I like Kyle, and I think he's really great. I honestly do, but I just can't stand the way he talks, the way he walks. I can't. I'm just like you're trying so hard to make me like you, and I just think it's cringy. I hate it so much, and I feel really bad saying that because I love Kyle O'Reilly. I think he's fantastic, but it's just something about it.
Is it the trilby and the double denim? Because you should never ever double denim.
I wear I'm a double denim person.
Oh,
I wear denim jackets on denim shirts with denim shorts or denim pants.
Oh,
I'm denim. I'm a denim man. I'm all the way. I'm all for it. It's just
I don't want to speak to you anymore. I'll end the stream.
Well,
now.
That's okay. I don't really want to speak to you ever, Mag. So it makes both of us, doesn't it? But it's I'm somewhat of a Cameron Grimes guy. But what I wanted to bring up with NXT in particular is Candice LeRae is finally a champion in WWE, and I think that's wonderful. Yeah. I think that's just wonderful.
Very much like Tamina, someone who should have been champion way before. She's finally getting out of being Mrs. Johnny Wrestling. For people who only know Candice from NXT, go and check out some of the stuff that she did on the
Just type her name in and you'll find stuff. Like, holy crap.
She was a killer in these indie wrestling streets. Believe me, she could take a beating and give out a beating. So yeah, I'm really glad that she
Aaron. Big agree on that, Aaron. It has to be different colored denim. It can't be all the same color. No. Otherwise, you just look like a potato. But
I can totally see you, Josh, wearing stonewashed all three jeans.
No, I would wear stonewashed jacket. I would wear stonewashed pant like jeans. I could wear a stonewashed jacket, but as long as there was a different colored denim underneath. Listen. Listen, okay, all right, 80-year-old Mags, all right? You don't understand fashion in 2021. It's fine, I get it.
I'm a tweed guy.
oh my. That sounds, you know what? I believe it. But it's, yeah. And praise to Indy Hartwell as well. She's honestly really rising up to the occasion. Very good.
Indy and
good
Dexter
timing.
Lumis is the best storyline.
Hashtag Index. I ship that. All the way. Yeah. Index is great. They just play with each other
so much. I love Dexter Lumis.
Well, no, a Canadian tuxedo is different. Isn't that denim on plaid, like on a flannel with jeans?
I don't know. Maple syrup, I think.
Ooh, honestly. I love maple syrup. I love Canada. I'm not going to talk shit about Canada. I would never. My boss, Love Wrestling's boss, is Canadian. How dare I?
He certainly is. Good old Spencer.
We love Spencer. If the other day, Mags, I was streaming, and I did not know Spencer was in the chat, and I was just talking away, and I started talking about him. I said the name Love Wrestling, and he appeared. It was like I said his name 3 times into a mirror, and it was like Spencer's here. Yeah, it was like Spencer's here, and I was like, "What the fuck? How did that happen?" It was crazy. But anyway, I digress. We need a Canadian in here to talk about Canadian tuxedos. I don't feel right talking about something so Canadian. But we can talk about the main event of WrestleMania Backlash. That is Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Cesaro. I'm going to tell you why I have an issue with this, Mr. Mags. I think we should wait with this, and I think Cesaro's first opportunity should be at a big show in front of a lot of people, because I think it would just make the moment better. Not because I don't think he deserves it. Obviously, that man deserves it, but I just wish they were waiting out a little bit longer. I think they got a little bit like, we don't really have a lot here for Roman to do, and that scares me a little bit because Roman is firing on all cylinders, and I just, as much as I would love the moment to happen, I want Cesaro to have it in front of fans, and I just don't think it's time for Roman to lose it after beating Daniel Bryan and Edge at the same time at WrestleMania.
I agree. I would love for Cesaro to be champion. I'm not as high on him as a lot of the RWC are, but I do think he's never put a foot wrong. He's always put out quality matches. His mat work is not the best. I don't think he's got the best of charisma, but it's just something so likable about him that you want him to succeed. The thing that's swaying me towards him is all this kind of like storyline with Jimmy Uso coming back, and whether that's going to be a distraction for Roman. We're playing off the same storyline that happened with Jay, where they were clashing, and Jay was finally beat down and accepted his role as the right hand man to the head of the table. So we're seeing kind of like the similarities there, but are we going to see Jimmy fall into line, or is Jimmy going to cost Roman the title and prove that he's not the head of the table? So there's a lot of factors going into this that makes you think perhaps Cesaro can be that guy. If he does, I don't think it'll be a long-term run. I think come the next pay-per-view, which I think is Money in the Bank, I think Roman would win the title back. But right now, I think Roman will walk out of Backlash as champion. And then I can see maybe Cesaro winning Money in the Bank to get a second stab at the title.
Well, I don't know. I think Roman will win. There'll be something with the Usos, obviously. There's a lot going on with Jimmy now back, and I'm glad Jimmy's back, by the way. It adds, it was like perfect timing without even realizing you needed something else in this story. Everything about anything relating to Roman Reigns at the moment just is like appointment viewing.
It's the best storyline that they're doing on main roster.
A long shot. It's like miles better than a lot of stuff. It's just a very good wrestling storyline. They've just done a very good job at structuring it, and actually, whether they are or not, it seems like there's a big plan in place. It probably isn't, but it seems like they have here's where we start, here's where we end. And we're just kind of going in on what we're I just think Roman Reigns is going to hold on to this championship for a while longer. I could not easily, but I could see it going to WrestleMania next year. I can see that happening.
I can honestly see it going past next year's WrestleMania.
I'm for it. I'm very much for it.
As long as they can keep it fresh. And keep giving him viable contenders and keep the storyline ticking over. I can see this Roman being champion going into WrestleMania 39 when we will be in Hollywood, which would lead to the biggest match that he could have against the real head of the table, The Rock.
And imagine Roman Reigns beating The Rock. Imagine actually think about that. Roman is a WWE born talent. He is a WWE talent, and people complain that WWE can't create stars and WWE can't create this. Roman Reigns is the exception to that rule. I 100% believe that. There's probably a couple of others, maybe like a Charlotte Flair, that is completely just WWE talent. But Roman is so ahead of everybody else in that. It's not even close to me. It's Roman. And then there's everybody else below Roman Reigns. That's just genuinely how he is the main attraction. He is the face of the company, in my opinion. It's like you said, keeping it fresh will be difficult. But if anything has taught us in the last 8 months that he's been champion, or even longer, is that they've done a really good job at keeping things fresh. Because Roman has such a large family, it makes it a little maybe quote unquote easier, because you could just pull from so many aspects that you can pull in and keep it all fresh. But I mean, anything else by now, you wouldn't think that Jay Uso, if it was any other story, he would have turned on him 6 months ago. You know what I mean? It'd be done and dusted, and we'll be on to 4 different other challenges now. But to keep it this fresh for this long is saying something. Now, Jimmy's in there to give it legs until at least SummerSlam. So I don't know.
And then you've got to also factor in the fact that there's talks of WWE being aligned with MLW now, and the champion in MLW right now is another member of the Anoa'i family. It's Jacob Fatu. So there's still plenty of pathways that this can go down. And if you compare this to the Raw title, how quick has Bobby Lashley as champion and versus Drew McIntyre gone off the boil? Pretty quickly, and yet we've still can see the legs in a Jimmy/Jay/Roman storyline almost a year down the line.
Yeah, and even Cesaro keeping this in, and like, let's be honest, Roman and Cesaro will kill it. It'll be a great match. There's no way that it won't be a great match with the two people involved. I just think it's awkward timing for Cesaro. If this was maybe SummerSlam, I could be like, maybe it will happen. But Aaron does bring up a good point. A lot of people seem to think that it's going to be Roman and Seth at SummerSlam. Certainly would not be opposed to it. Obviously, there's history. That's something they can keep legs on for a long time. I think you can always pull from that Shield stuff. I think it's just always going to be there. Seth Rollins is a babyface. I mean, it's, it'll be interesting. I don't know. Seth's a great heel. Seth's not a bad babyface. And I think Seth Rollins is criminally underlooked in terms of being one of the best in the world. I genuinely believe that Seth Rollins is one of the best. But he kind of puts himself into a corner sometimes with some things. But that's neither here nor there. But Seth and Roman, I mean, you can't go wrong with it, really, can you? I mean, it's Seth and Roman.
Yeah, they could have a banging fight in the parking lot. It would be just absolutely superb. And like you said, Seth is one of the legitimate best wrestlers in the world, and I think Roman is up there in that conversation because wrestling is not just about what kind of flips you can do in the ring. It's about having a full gamut of character work and being able to draw heat and stuff like that. And Roman has got every facet of wrestling down.
Yep. He is a super duper star. He just oozes it. You're like, whoa, he's just everything you want in, if you're like building the wrestler, he's that, isn't he? He really is just very good. He's just very, very good. But yeah, banging match. I just think Roman will walk out with the championship. But yeah. WrestleMania Backlash is happening in however many hours from now. I'm sure it'll be fine. Most WWE pay-per-views are very good. There's no issue with me with WWE pay-per-views. There's not a lot to like. Yeah, well, I don't know if wouldn't say I'm super excited for it, but I think it will be fine and it will be a good show. And I'm just ready to get back to fans. I really am. I don't know if it's time in the world yet, but that's not for me to decide. AEW are doing it, so
obviously I'm a huge MMA fan, and go and check out 5 Rounds pod on your.
Did you just plug your own? Did you just plug your own? That is disgusting. How dare you use this as a time to put yourself over? That's gross.
But the comment I was trying to get across was we've recently seen fans come back to UFC, and as much as we kind of enjoyed being able to hear the more of the fights and the corners helping their fighters, having fans back has been so good because you feel the energy in the arena. It's made quite boring cards feel much more important, and I think,
dude, I seen that man break his leg not very long ago. That was disgusting. What happened on UFC or something?
You don't want to watch what happened last night then, because a man literally broke another man's arm.
Oh no! See, I can't deal with that kind of stuff.
And
I don't watch
the worst thing about it is you heard the snap, like over the crowd. You heard the actual snap of the bone. And you saw the arm go floppy.
No!
It was gruesome. It was absolutely gruesome.
How did I not see that on my timeline? I don't know how I didn't see that on my Twitter. No, I don't want to.
His arm's floppy. It's like it looks like it's made out of elastic.
Listen, I didn't even know what was going on. Someone at work, I think, told me, they were like, "You need to see, go on your Twitter feed because there'll be stuff about UFC." And I'm like, "Oh, like, okay, yeah, there always is stuff about UFC on my Twitter feed, and I'm just scrolling through. I'm like, oh, is this the fight? He's like, yeah, that one. I'm like, it only goes for like 15 seconds. What the fuck is this? And he's like, it's a cool knockout. I'm like, okay. So I'm like watching it, and then I'm like, oh, he broke his leg. His like leg is. I'm like, what the fuck? And it was all gross, but that's probably worse, and I don't want to see that.
And that guy now, Chris Weidman.
Something happened here. Sinide saying a guy got knocked out Ric Flair style.
Oh, what? that also was awesome. Someone got I think it was called. I'm sure it was called Shane Burgos. He got hit in the face, and do you know when? I don't know if you've seen the gif of the guy on a roller coaster, and he keeps fainting, and someone put the Windows music on. It was like that, where his brain was shutting down and his body was like starting to give up, and his eyes were like, "What the hell is going on?" And then he just collapses. It's absolutely awesome.
Look at me!
You're an MMA fan. You want to come on to 5 rounds.
Look at me. I'm such a man. I'm so extremely straight. Look at me talking about MMA and fighting. And
Chris Weidman, the guy who broke his leg kicking Uriah Hall's leg, he's actually walked for the first time this week since the leg break.
Good for him. Oh, that sounds bad. That sounds like I was being a cockhead then. But I mean, good for him.
No, it is really good. I mean, just a few weeks after snapping both his bones, he's back walking. So that was really good.
I can't deal with that kind of stuff. I don't know. I have a really weak stomach for that kind of stuff. I was going to fans. I'm excited for that to come back. So, like you said with UFC, it does make a difference. Made a difference at WrestleMania. It made a huge difference at WrestleMania. So let's just get back to that and get some normality back in the world, dude. It's just, I'm so sick of it. I'm sure a lot of people are sick of it too, but there's a lot worse than me just whinging about a wrestling show. But I'm just ready just wrestling is not the same without people in the crowd. It really isn't.
I mean, it's been cool that WWE brought the Thunderdome to try and at least get fans involved.
Definitely.
But now we've seen fans back.
It's like the worst thing to happen.
Yeah, you're yearning for it. So.
It is what it is. But anything else you want to touch on before we wrap things up, Mags? I don't know if there's anything else to really talk about in the world of wrestling or just life. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just people just need to stop being dicks. Let other people live how they want to live. You don't have to dictate to someone how they live their life. I'm getting really kind of irked off with Twitter dictating to people how they should be. Live and let live. So stop being dicks.
Damn, Mag shoots on the internet. That's what this
for the clout. That's what I've done it for. It's for the clout.
I do everything for clout, so it's fine. Don't worry. Anyway, well, that's going to wrap us up here for WrestleMania Backlash predictions. Enjoy WrestleMania Backlash if you're going to watch. I'm sure if you're here, you're probably going to watch the show. I'm sure it'll be fine. I have no doubt about that. We'll see some good wrestling from a few of the matches. So I hope you enjoy that. Come hang on. I'm not going to be streaming at all during this week until the weekend for the charity stream, just because I'm going to be streaming a lot then. So come hang out with me. It'll be my pinned tweet all week. Love wrestling. I have a new video coming out tomorrow about the Bella twins. If you like the Bellas or if you dislike the Bellas, that's fine. I make a lot of, I think, really good points. I love wrestling. I genuinely love making videos on there. And I'm not saying this as a flex, but it seems people are liking it because a lot of people are watching the videos, and I've never got this kind of attention or views with produced videos like that I've done. And it's cool. It is cool. I know it's not all about numbers, but it is pretty cool to see numbers like that. Yeah, and I've never had that before.
I'm lucky to be a small part in that team as well.
Tiny part, tiny little
very,
micro
very tiny part. But I do feel that it's one of the best groups creating content in wrestling today, because the amount of support and the positivity that exudes from Spencer, it's just infectious. And
exactly.
He's such a great person to work with.
Spencer, you'll know what I mean by this, Mags. We both work together on on another little place, and it's very different.
Yes, it is. There's nowhere near the toxicity.
I'll put it
And
like
also, whilst you're on checking out Josh's video tomorrow on Love Wrestling, go back in the archives and watch me on The Man Behind, where me and Spencer had a good old chat.
Oh, I'm actually on The Man Behind this week.
Oh, brilliant.
On Friday.
So you're
an hour before my charity stream, I'll be on Love Wrestling's Twitch and YouTube with Spencer on The Mind Behind. I think he's announced it. If he hasn't announced it, I just broke his announcement here. Whoopsie doopsies. Sorry, Spence.
It's such a great chat with Spencer. So yeah,
I love talking with Spencer.
Yeah, I can't wait to check that episode out. I was episode 4, by the way.
Well, he was just testing, It was like, does this work? Yeah. And then, we'll bring in Josh, and then it'll go, and it'll just be the highest rated. I'm like the fucking just
draw. You're the draw.
I can't help it. I'm so over. It's kind of disgusting how over I am. Like it's just sickening how over I am. Imagine being as over as Josh Robinson. I couldn't. I am that, so it doesn't matter. I'm just a big raging gay man that just is like, I'm so gay, I can't be friends with straight people. Fuck off.
Well, straight people you can be friends with. It's extremely straight people.
Oh, sorry, extremely straight men. Sorry, extremely straight men. What does that even actually mean, by the way, if you're extremely straight or extremely gay? I don't know what that means either. People love saying some shit, don't they, Mags? But anyway, I should probably wrap this up. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. We're out of here, and we'll be back for whatever the hell the next pay-per-view is. I don't know if it is Money in the Bank. No, I don't think it is. I think they're waiting for fans for that in July. Because Money in the Bank was meant to be this pay-per-view, but they changed it. I seen something on WrestleVotes thing. Yeah, I seen something on WrestleVotes thing saying that Money in the Bank is maybe taking place in July instead of June. Maybe we're gonna get like Extreme Rules or something.
So Money in the Bank is booked for June the 20th, 2021, at the Thunderdome. And then the week before that, we've got NXT TakeOver In Your House again.
Oh yeah, In Your House is coming up. We'll do something for In Your House as well. Can we do something for In Your House?
If you'd like. NXT WWE Extreme Rules is July, and then we're going into SummerSlam in August. So it is Money in the Bank. I was right.
I don't think it's going to take place there. Well, that's my bold prediction that Money in the Bank will happen in July.
We shall see.
But anyway, we will be back. Us two friggin' best friends will be back for NXT TakeOver In Your House. Sound good? And I'll have a nice, cool.
La-di-da.
We'll wear old suits and we'll be like we're in 1992.
I'm going to get double denim and a trilby to pull off the Kyle O'Reilly look.
Ugh. I'll just be like this the whole time. Then I'll just double click me. Oh, they put it in full screen. Fuck, I fucked up. Wait, hold up. Fuck, this one. Yeah, there we go. Woohoo! I fucked up my spot, Mags. Don't you hate when that happens? All right, let's end the stream. See you later, friends.